Hi everyone, this is Sean from Time and Talk. So today I wanted to make a video about this watch, which is the latest addition to my collection, which as you can see is from the company Braun. And it's an interesting piece really. I didn't think it would be so interesting. Here's the box. It's nothing to write home about, just a plain cardboard box. And I started to read into it, but I really like this watch, the look of it, and I think this would be the type of watch that I would choose if I wasn't into watches. Purely from an aesthetic standpoint, I like the design. I think it's kind of like almost like Bauhaus, like very minimalistic. I like that kind of design, but it's very modern at the same time. And I did some research into it, and it proved to be a lot more interesting than I thought, really. This model is called the BN0021 BKB KG, which is a bit of a mouthful. And I paid £40 on Amazon, and the reason that I bought it, I had a Christmas voucher, and I only had to add £10 to it, and it's very very affordable. I think they're £80 or £100 retail. I'm not sure why Amazon can sell them so cheap. Maybe it's a fake. I don't know. You see the leather strap here. It's got a really interesting design, and it's got the lugs are actually underneath the case, which is quite interesting. It's very kind of funky, modernist design. And the dimensions are 38 millimeters by 38 because it's an exact circle. And the thickness is 9.5 millimeters. You see colourful second hand with Arabic numerals all the way around, no date. And the reason it's such an interesting piece, this, is because I didn't know, but Braun, the company, obviously we know them as an electronics brand. They make a bunch of things as well as watches. I think the watch company's actually been bought out in the last few years. But in 1955, after having been founded in 1921 by a guy called Max Braun as an engineering shop, they employed a guy called Dieter Rams, who was an interior designer, to design their products. And he designed their products from 1955 till 1995. And apparently Braun became really, really influential in the design field. And he designed a bunch of products which are really, really influential and much replicated, shall we say. Reading an article on Hodinkee, and they called them uber purist, and you can see why. This is a very, very clean watch. A particularly famous watch, which I think has been reintroduced in the last couple of years, called the AW10. But I'll just show you some of the other designs of Dieter Rams, including things like the ABW21 wall clock, which are really beautiful, really. I mean, you can see the really modern, really minimalist, quite colourful as well in their design, and kind of really, really recognisable. And it shows you how much you get, really, out of this £40 watch that can have such a kind of rich design history, and someone who's a real icon of the design world behind it for such an affordable price. And it really is a nice looking watch. I mean, you can see. So there's also the ET66 calculator, the S60 razor. So I'll show you some of these products on the screen. Really beautifully designed products. And Dieter Rams actually had 10 principles of good design. So principles including good design is innovative. So you can see at the time, some of these products must have been amazingly different to what came before. You're thinking about 1940s and 1950s watches, and then they came along with this ultra minimalist, quite colourful design, which will have been really, really different to a lot of the things that came before. Good design is unobtrusive. Good design is environmentally friendly. I'm not sure how environmentally friendly a £40 quartz watch is nowadays, but we all want that from the products that we live with and that we love. And I think this is what we're looking for, really, as people who like watches. We're looking for the most value and the biggest story and the biggest meaning from a watch for the lowest price. And obviously sometimes watches are really, really expensive, but we pay that price because we love what they represent and what they give us for that price. But in this case, I was really surprised to find that something so apparently throwaway, you know, £40 on Amazon, could have such an influence, such history. I mean, I was reading some of the products were compared to the iPhone, because obviously the iPhone's got a really minimalist design, and apparently that design was influenced by Dieter Rams' designs, including for the calculator that I showed you on screen. You can see it here on my wrist. Really nice size for me, 6¼ inches, because it's 38mm, but it's also 38 lug to lug, because it doesn't have lugs, because the lugs are underneath the case. It's nice and thin, and it's a really nice watch as for someone who appreciates good design, because no matter what you think of the quartz movement or whatever in this watch, it's a nice looking watch. That's what I think anyway. And as I said, I would have chosen a watch like this if I wasn't into watches, you know, from a movement perspective and from the history of some of the watches that I've explored as I've been getting more knowledge of watches. So tell me what you think of this watch, of Braun in general, of the quest to obtain a watch that has history, that has that design behind it for a low price. And if you like my channel, please subscribe. Thanks very much.